Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Whether you have been waiting patiently for it to pop up or whether you have just stumbled across, I am so grateful that you have come to participate with our church's attempt to connect in a devotional kind of way. When we started this, we started with something new. It was new for us, and I think kind of new for at least how a lot of churches were doing Sunday school. So thank you for trying this with us. Thank you for experimenting with how your faith can grow in a digital space. You have found St. John United Church of Christ here in Indianapolis, and I'm Pastor Jana Myers, and this awesome digital experiment, this is our Sunday morning Sunday school devotional. So what we hope that you get out of it is a few moments to contemplate, reflect, and think critically about your faith and your understanding with God. Whether or not you do that here in person or online, both places do the same lesson. So whatever you're doing here, they're going to do inside as well. And it makes for a way that we strive to connect all the different parts of our worshiping community together so that you are part of the thriving life here at St. John, no matter how you worship and study with us. So this morning, we're going to continue our 2-week study on love. If you didn't see last week, that's okay. It's in I think you can go to the live video tab on Facebook, and you can just see last week's Sunday school. You can check there for the first part 1 of our love series, and now we'll be doing part 2. As we get ready for Valentine's Day tomorrow, we have Love Triangle to talk about today. Kaya Duja published this reflection for our UCC Daily Devotional Writers Program. They published it on October 25th in 2021, and it is a wonderful reflection on love in its more complicated way. You can read along with me using your church email. Every Thursday we send out the email. This link is right there in the Sunday school section. You can also find it on our church Facebook page and our church family page, and of course at ucc.org daily devotional, where it was published on October 25th. Just look for that publication date and the title, Love Triangle. Our focus verse this morning is Matthew 18, verses 15 and 16. If another member of the church sins against you, and go and point out the fault when the 2 of you are alone. If the member listens to you, you have regained that one. But if you are not listened to, take 1 or 2 others along with you, so that every word may be confirmed by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. Our author writes, family systems theory teaches that conflicts don't get resolved when we don't attempt to address them directly. Indirect communication maintains the status quo. Real change can only happen when we go straight to the source. Jesus saw this and wanted to prepare the disciples so they wouldn't fall into these patterns. With 1 witness, there's room for triangulation, but with 2, there's room for corroboration. There's room for helping each other's recollection. Jesus cares so much about the people and wants them to live in health and wellness. He doesn't want disputes to pull them apart. He wants them together. He wants them well. He cares about what the Christian community looks like in church, in home, everywhere. And in real conflict, Jesus knows just how this can go down otherwise. Maybe here, Jesus gives us the first bylaw of the church. May we live in accordance with them. It's such an interesting idea, right? This idea that we are called out of love to be clear with one another, to be direct with one another, but not to be mean, not to be harsh, not to be trying to get out and get someone or get over on somebody. That's tricky. That's hard. That means being honest but kind at the same time. And it's just a lot easier to be brutally honest, where you can just say whatever you want without the fear of any consequences, because you're just honestly speaking honestly. Brutally honest, if I'm being honest. The thing is, I don't think we want to be brutally honest. I don't think we're called to be brutally honest. We're called to be kindly honest. We're called to be truthful about our own experiences. But we're also called to be reflective. Because when you are being kindly honest, you are speaking about your experience and how you felt about it, not for the goal of hurting somebody else or getting into a fight, but for explaining how you felt and trusting that the other person is going to be able to listen and hear that. That kind of honesty, that kind of communication is hard. A lot harder than just shouting out whatever we feel on social media, or sending an angry text at the middle of the night, or never calling back when somebody calls us and asks to talk. Being kindly honest means wanting to have a relationship with somebody and knowing that harboring hurt and resentment isn't going to make it better, but knowing that what you have to tell somebody could hurt them. And that space is a vulnerable, careful space that we should go into with a sense of kind love. This idea that she writes about, this love triangle, it's so easy, right? Have you ever been in a relationship, not necessarily a romantic relationship, but it could be, any kind of friendship, family dynamic, partnered relationship, where all of a sudden it's very clear that there aren't just two of you in it? That you're talking to the one person who's talking to somebody else who's talking about you, and you're pretty sure that everyone's talking about you all at the same time, but nobody's talking to you. This was absolutely the case my sophomore year of high school. I had a couple of friends who had joined the soccer team and I hadn't. And it was obvious that they were doing all kinds of things that I wasn't a part of. And I got really upset, and so I told one person about it. And then a different person came to talk to me about what I had said to the other friend. And it was confusing because I had remembered distinctively only talking to my first friend. But yet my second friend knew all about it. It's so easy for those type of relationships to form, where one person maybe tries to be honest, and instead of being able to have that conversation, we turn around and go talk to somebody about, you won't believe what so-and-so said to me. It's not just gossip, because it's gossip with a point. Triangles always have points. Those challenging little words go from one person and then directly onto the other person and back. Gossip with an action, that's triangulation. Conflict with avoidance, that's also triangulation. And see, the thing is, those types of love triangles aren't very loving. They're often a lot more hurting. And in a Christian community built on kindly love, kindly honesty, instead of brutally honest, the best kind of shape is a line, with point A talking to point B, and point B talking back to point A. Triangles aren't great shapes unless we're talking about the Holy Trinity. People triangles often mean that someone's being left out. And so we're called to do the hard work out of love, that we would speak directly to one another, Not in a mean way, but in a kind way, in a hopeful way, in a way of saying, I love you so much that I don't want my actions to hurt you, and I don't want you to feel blindsided or ignored or hurt by something that I do. So I'm going to tell you the truth, but I'm going to do it in a way that treats you like an adult, that respects you, that honors you, that doesn't seek to harm you. And I'm going to trust that because you are my friend, because you are my family, because you are my partner, that you want to be in this relationship with me, and that this conflict, this challenge, will be part, but not all, of our relationship. It's that kind of love, and it's that kind of intention that when we come to a conversation that is hard, both parties can grow together. You probably have relationships that do this incredibly well, and you probably have relationships that don't. As we get ready for Valentine's Day tomorrow, it would be a great idea to think about how to use those good practices of kindly honest, lovingly honest in those relationships that are challenged. I challenge you to throw out the idea of being brutally honest. It's not needed. You don't ever need to be a brute or to be brutal to anybody. You can be kind, you can be loving, you can be direct, and you can be honest in the service of a relationship built on love. As our author says, that you care so much about the people that you are in relationship with, you want to live with them in health and wellness. You don't want disputes to pull you apart. You want to be together. You want to be well. You care about what your community, your Christian community, your church community, your family community, your neighborhood community looks like. And you want to do the things to build that up. So as you get ready for Valentine's Day, be kindly honest, direct in your communication, and loving to those people around you. Would you pray with me? God, help us to be of one accord. Help us to turn directly to each other. And as we do, we turn to you. Amen. We're going to join together in a lovely, loving worship service right here at 10 o'clock. And all you have to do is come right back here. So go find your best heart pajamas, little maybe heart headbands or earrings or sweaters. Maybe you've got red slippers. Maybe you're all dressed up for church. Maybe you've got your power suit on. Whatever you've got, come back here and join us for a worship service that will be made complete by your presence. I'll see you at 10. Bye, guys.